Right now we are at our Suite 2 room of 55 Studios here in the heart of Ybor City above the bricks. On this episode we're going to talk a little bit more about DIY versus a professional studio. My background, I'm a music producer. I started playing music when I was little, and then started making beats in high school and started a group called Justice League, and we're all from Tampa. We went on to work with Usher, Young Jeezy, and Rick Ross, and countless others. Working at home, you know, we have this nomenclature in today's language called the bedroom producer, you know, but personally, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's where you create and make the best music, then you can get some of the best sounds out of your bedroom, out of your living room, wherever you are. Things you want to watch out for on that is you don't have anybody else co-signing your music with you. So typically, if you're producing your own beats and recording your own vocals and doing all that at home, then chances are you're doing all of that yourself. What I've found is, like, if even I'm at my home studio, I want to bring producers and engineers and people that I trust to produce there. If you are recording at your house and you want the absolute best sound that you can get, you want to deaden everything. Primarily with vocals. Vocals are everything. Getting a nice, clean vocal sound, being able to have your vocal to sit in the mix at home. You don't want to hear any of the walls around you. So honestly, figure out a way to do it in the closet. Like, get in the closet, make sure there's clothes surrounding you, and you will have the best, deadest sound. And I've recorded major label artists, like, at homes and places, and just, put the microphone in the closet and get in there, and that's really everything. Because we can fix, even if you're recording at home and you bring us your tracks, we can fix, like, the track. We can't fix vocals if it has space in it. So make sure you do that. If you're recording at home also, and you're going to be sending your record out to be mixed, you got to learn how to work the mic, because chances are you're just running through a audio interface without a nice compressor. So if you're listening and you know what I'm talking about, that means if you are right on the microphone and you get louder, it's going to clip. If you're softer, you're going to have to figure out a way to bring that up. If it clips, you can't fix it. If it's softer, you can chop it up and bring it up. So if you're a vocalist, which is easier than, or which is harder than, recording rap or hip hop, you just got to learn how to, when you're watching your voice, you can see when it clips. So you kind of learn your voice as an instrument and when to back up and how to train your voice. And unfortunately, it's not the best way to do it. So again, getting a good compressor and getting in a studio will fix all of that, and you can get right on it. And that's how, when you're listening to major label albums, it sounds like their voice is coming right through the speakers and just right there. It's got the meat on it because of the compression and preamps that they're using. I mean, I'll just throw this out there. The record I won the Grammy for with Justice League, No One Will Do, we did that in my grandma's bedroom, like, in the living room, off of nothing. We used to record records with, like, just old SM58 microphones, and we would have just as good quality, with those, because we took the time and effort to tweak everything. But in a professional sense, that only gets you so far, because you're not going to be able to really distribute quality albums that way. You can start, putting stuff on SoundCloud or getting it out to A&Rs or sending it out as demos. But when you want to start pushing it to DJs or radio stations, whether indie or clear channel radio stations, you're really going to want to go to a professional that's able to mix and master, re-record on a Neumann microphone or a Sony microphone or something of some quality, and start using some major preamps and compressors to get that. And again, you can go to a studio with all of that stuff and they'll still ruin your record if you don't have the right person behind it. So if you're a young producer, a young artist out there, don't not make music right now because you don't think you have the right equipment or you don't have money to go to studio, just continue doing what you're doing and building your craft, and you'll find that you'll just get better and better at it. And then your music will speak for yourself, money will come, you'll figure out ways to do it, and then you'll be able to go to the studio and kind of pay for that professional edge. When you're breaking out and you start trying to find a studio to record at, you want to hear what the person that's going to be recording you has done. So what is your track record? Who have you recorded before? And a lot of times you find a studio because somebody else refers you there anyways, you know, so so you get that reputation. Another thing that I would do is I would just ask to jump on the phone with whoever's going to be recording you, and I always do that. And a lot of times, even for us, like, I want to talk to the person that I'm going to be producing. As a producer, you want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time on somebody that's just, you know, going to do something that it may not be ready to record yet and may not be on that level, you know. Time is precious, so make sure you're not wasting it just going in there for somebody to push record and take your money. Make sure that they're passionate about even the type of music that you've done, because I'm going to mix a reggae record completely different than I'm going to mix a jazz record or neo soul or rock or any of that. So make sure that whoever's recording you has you know, has done that style before, a genre. A little bit of our philosophy and why we started 55 Studios is because anywhere I've been in the world, whether that's New York, Miami, Atlanta, LA, there's a scene where people can go to meet other artists and to, you know, if I'm in this room, I'm in this studio in this place, then I know I'm going to bump shoulders or shake hands with somebody that's in the next studio that may be working on that. And whether they're on a major label, indie label, or whatever, I'm going to meet A&Rs, I'm going to meet, you know, other writers, co-writers, and then I'm going to set up writing sessions. And, you know, Nashville is huge on that. Every time I go to Nashville, you just, hey, you wrote for so-and-so, let's get together tomorrow. Tampa hasn't really had any of that, although we've had some of the best artists, I believe, in the world. You know, we created juke music, and people come here and snatch up our artists and take them other places, you know, primarily Atlanta. But we want artists to stay here. We want the scene to stay here. We believe music starts here. You know, you can, if you're here on any given night, you're gonna meet some of the best artists in the city and writers in the city and rappers and singers and vocalists. And being above the bricks is amazing because we can go and break bread downstairs and throw shows downstairs and come up here and record an album, which happened the other night with Sam. He was performing, and then, let's go to the studio and just write, and they were shooting music videos. That's what we need in Tampa, whether they're musicians or painters or graphic artists. I want this to benefit them and be a platform for them to be successful, because you know, music industry has a reputation for people taking advantage of other people and taking their art and not knowing what to do with it and using. So if we can create a scene here with the help of people like Symphonic Distribution and other major players in Tampa, I believe we're creating something special that people are going to want to move from all over the world to live in Tampa, to be a part of the scene that we're making here. I'm 40, so I'm not the oldest, I'm not the youngest, but I've been around the block enough to see enough miserable artists. So if you are starting out, or if you're halfway through it, or if you're in the game, I just want to encourage you, and we encourage our whole team to make this about each other. Make this about what can you do to the next artist that you're featuring on the album? What can you do to make it in the industry when it's just me? What can you do to pour into the next person and collab and create a scene and push it there? That's my biggest advice that I would give you, any young aspiring artist that you may be looking at other people in the scene and being like, that's how I should be, or listening to how they talk, or you see how this person, and look at all the money they got and all that. All of that's fake, because these artists and people that are doing this, there's a lot of emptiness, there's a lot of hurt, because they've built a life where they've not let anybody in. And the happiest artists that I've been around are you know, the ones that have been in groups and bands and just some sort of collaborative scene. So I just encourage you, if you're starting out or whatever, pour into your family, if you got kids, pour into those kids, because it blinks like that, and you could have all the plaques on the wall and have a home that's empty as can be, and the plaques are the only thing that's in there. So I just, you know, legacy over living, like we say, and you know, do some good with the music. That's all I got. That's it.